Classic WrestleMania review with your host, Mr. Rock. Hope everyone's doing wonderful out there in the wonderful world of YouTube. Just need a few minutes before we start. Gonna be watching WrestleMania 30. First time ever watching this one. So, okay, so yeah, we're live. So let's mute this. And yeah, let's get into it. WrestleMania 30. But yeah, guys, this is my first time watching WrestleMania 30. The only thing I literally know is that Daniel Bryan wins or something like that, and Undertaker. Shocking moment. That's from what I heard. Haven't really watched the matches themselves. So, like I literally said, like I did yesterday, during every match, we'll pause it, give a 5-star review, and then overall, we'll literally go from there. And this is the last one I'm doing for a while. Hey, Strive, hope all is well, man. Nice to see you. But like I said, this is my first time ever watching WrestleMania 30. I'm literally trying to get through some of them. There's still a lot of WrestleManias I still haven't seen. So, eventually, I might be able to get through them all one of these days. And then be able to say, well, I've seen them all. But there was a period of my life where I just didn't want to watch wrestling. And that was like from either 2008 to 2016 or 2010 to 2016. I can't really remember exactly what year it was. It was either one of those years. It might have been 2010 though, if I remember correctly. So, but I do hope you're doing well there, Strive, on this Thursday morning. Still morning, actually, over here. So, I know it's probably afternoon in some places. Noon for you? Okay. Yeah, it's 11:02 in the morning. So, I just recently woke up literally like not even 20 minutes ago, set things up and said, okay, how long is this WrestleMania? 4 hours? Alright then. I gotta start early. So, and since WrestleMania is going to be in New Orleans next year, I thought, well, I gotta start with the one I've never watched in New Orleans. I watched WrestleMania, what was it, 38? But I've never seen WrestleMania 30, so. Which doesn't make sense that they went to New Orleans for this one. Wouldn't you think Madison Square Garden? They went to Madison Square Garden for literally the first 10, 20. And they haven't been to it since WrestleMania 20. I don't think. Quicksaver labels? I don't know what Quicksaver labels are. Here comes Hulk Hogan, host of WrestleMania. Very controversial figure. Even in 2014, how the hell did he become the host of WrestleMania? Wasn't he just going for his SCX freaking scandal at this time? Or was that a couple of years before or after? Your shirt is a Quicksilver shirt? No, it's not. It's not Quicksilver. It's actually Colorado Avalanche. It has Patrick Wall in the back. So, who is actually one of my favorite players who I've actually met and have his autograph. To be honest, it's right up there actually. I can't really show it because I would literally have to beam the camera in a different angle. But yeah. But yeah, it's Colorado Avalanche of the NHL Strive. Ah. And if my leg starts giving out, I'm going to be lying down. We'll see how long. I don't usually sit down cross-legged for too long. And how long is this WrestleMania? Yeah, it is 4 hours. Damn. Okay. Surfer skater product? Oh, okay.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. First off, I'd like to welcome everyone here at the Silverdome to WrestleMania 30. Everybody in the WWE Universe and everybody that's watching the WWE Network to tear the roof off this place right here in New Orleans, Louisiana, brother. Hope thinks he's been to WrestleMania 3. That's all right. You know, I was there for the very first
How many
WrestleMania
lies is he going to say tonight?
Square Garden, where me and Mr. T beat Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. That
I
was
bet you if they let him literally go off script in a way, because I know it's scripted. But I guarantee you let him go off script, he's going to be talking about Metallica for 10, 20 minutes. Or 400 days in a year. Which is literally the most stupidest lie I've ever heard. So remember, guys, if you actually ever have to work freaking 365 days a year, in a way, just remember, you work less than Hulk Hogan. It's actually a joke. But yeah, because he thinks there's 400 days.
And tonight, there are definitely going to be more special WrestleMania moments. And you never know when one of those special moments.
Here comes Stone Cold Steve Austin. What, are they going to do a match? Is this where Austin and Hogan finally meet or what? Because they were supposed to wrestle at WrestleMania 18. But Austin didn't want to do the job for Hogan. Or something like that is what I heard. So, it just never happened. Or the other way around or something. Metallica was the biggest concern I ever been to. Oh, concert I ever been to. I think you mean. Okay. Uh, their Black album? Yeah. Their Black Album was controversial. I hate to say it, but that was probably the last, like, when you think about it, that was like their last, like, great album. They had okay albums after, but nothing was the same ever again. So, well, to my opinion, you know, like I like a For Justice for All, you know, like one of my favorite Metallica songs is One, and that's on that album. That's fine. I understand what you're getting at. I don't even know what my biggest concert would be. I've been to a lot of big concerts. I've even been live at a lot of big concerts, like with my dad. You know, so it's literally like I don't know what my biggest concert would be. That's a good question. I should maybe rank a lot of the freaking concerts, but I know the one that sucked. If I was to say the ones that sucked, yeah, I got a whole entire list of that. I went to. Hold on, I can. This literally cuts off there, so I gotta really read the laptop. I went to Black because of my girlfriend, and Justice for All was the last great album. Oh, okay. Yeah, Justice for All was a great album, but One is the one song that freaking blew me away. When I first heard One, I literally said, "Holy crap, Metallica kicks ass." Wait, Austin just said WrestleMania 10. Hulk Hogan wasn't involved in WrestleMania 10. He left the company by then. The first night he was right. But WrestleMania 10, yeah, Hulk Hogan left the company in literally like what, 93, 94 to WCW? Ride the Lightning was your favorite? Okay. Like I don't mind like a lot of Metallica's early albums, but then they just went, like I said, after the Black Album, it just didn't feel right. But the biggest lie that Hulk Hogan ever said with Metallica is they played bass for plays played bass guitar for Metallica. That's why I brought up Metallica. And then Metallica literally took to note, we never met Hulk Hogan. Never met him. So how the hell do you play bass guitar for a band that you never met? You know? Oh, here comes The Rock. Oh, wait, what? You're gonna have Austin, Rock, and Hogan in the same ring at the same time? Like I said, guys, this is my first time ever watching this, so the largest concert ever held was Metallica in Russia. Ah, are you sure it was Metallica in Russia? I know it's Metallica, but I thought they did a huge concert in Antarctica that literally like set the whole entire freaking thing. Or I would say that's the coldest concert that they ever did. Because I wouldn't want to go to Antarctica. But maybe you might be right on that. The largest concert. Because I know Metallica is huge. Don't get me wrong. I know. I've ever seen Metallica in concert. Okay. I'm not dissing you or anything else. I just know that they did a concert in Antarctica, and I would say that's probably the coldest concert that they ever did. Because I don't know how many bands have ever played in Antarctica, but I remember seeing like clips and freaking highlights of the concert. I just went, well, they're more brave than I am. I would never want to freaking go play out there. Way too damn cold. It's already cold enough over here. The Russian crowd was the largest crowd ever recorded. Okay. But yeah, I've been to a lot of concerts, Drive. If I was to literally go over like the like concerts I've been with my dad and like my mom and everything, it'll probably be over 1,000. And I'm not even exaggerating that number. It'll probably be over 1,000. You know, I was on the road quite a bit with my dad, and then technically and then I've seen probably about another 100, which I got over here, all the ticket stubs. So yeah, I've even been to UFC. I've been to WWF pay-per-views. Been to Monday Night Raw. I don't even know. I've been to a basketball game. Um, I was at the last Bomber game and the last in our stadium, our old stadium before we got the new one. So yeah, I've been around. Strive. But no, I've never seen Metallica live. So if you were going to ask, have you ever seen Metallica live? No. But I have met James Hetfield um, once. So look it up. You can't. Uh, Look it up. You can't see the end of the heads in the crowd. They estimated over a mil. Huh? Okay. I believe. Don't get me wrong. I believe that they probably did. But there's been a lot of big concerts in like back then. Like probably the biggest concert I literally remember like being out there was probably like Ozfest back then. I think there was like 250,000 people that showed up back in when I went to Ozfest. I can't remember what year it was, but yeah, my dad was part of Ozfest for a bit. He wasn't playing with Alice Cooper though, which yeah, they had a little follow up back then, but I can't remember what year that was. I know it was early 2000s. I remember that. I know it was probably like maybe 04, 05 Ozfest. But yeah, I remember like seeing the freaking crowd, and there was at least 250,000 freaking people out there. So
I've had the honor and the privilege of facing you both at WrestleMania. You've impacted my career. We've done it all. We've headlined WrestleManias. We've electrified. We've broke records. You've had incredible impact on The Rock's career, but you've also had incredible impact on everyone in the locker room. Because tonight, a man's going to come out here and he's going to fight in the name of hustle, loyalty, and
Woodstock
respect.
'99.
But
I was not at Woodstock '99, but I did hear about it. So
But that man doesn't come out here and fight in the name of hustle, loyalty, and respect
so
unless someone 29 years ago vowed to say
I
they're
heard
going
about the
to
riots and all that
protect
stuff at that
America.
concert and all that. Yeah. So I did hear about it, but I
Tonight, a
was
man
not.
is going to come out here and he's going to rise against the authority. But that doesn't, yeah.
And I guess you survived the riots because you're still alive today. So, but I did hear a lot of people riot at that concert or something like that. That was like one of the big things at Woodstock '99. And in '99, I was literally like what, 9, 8, 8 for most of it, and then 9 in September. So yeah. And '99 was a crazy year, to be honest, for Mr. Rock. Oh man, I remember '99, and yeah. Yeah. I had friends that went to that concert, and that's why I heard about it. Strive. I actually did have friends that went to that concert as well. You know, so like I think what was his name? Jack Osborne. Um, because yeah, I was friends with Kelly and Jack and the Osborne, and I believe Jack was there. He told me, and he told me the story about that. So even though he was young at the time, he was there. And I think Sharon took him to the concert or something. Really, they're all doing their catchphrases at once. I thought they were gonna have at least a match or something. This segment was pretty long. How long was this segment? Holy crap! It was over 20 minutes. And yes, guys, I'm watching this on Netflix. So before anyone says, "Well, how are you watching it?" It's on Netflix. Actually have 3 TVs. So there's one over down here on the ground almost, but it's on the stand. So here's a little fun fact about Stone Cold Steve Austin that you guys might not know. He doesn't really drink a lot of the beer. He spills it on himself, to be honest. He drinks maybe a mouthful of that actual like 6 pack or whatever, or 3 beers or whatever. Hey, they got JBL, they got Michael Cole, and they got Jerry the King Lawler for this. I was wondering where JBL was for WrestleMania 28. For a long time, JBL and Michael Cole were literally doing the hosting for a lot of. Oh, they got Daniel Bryan versus Triple H already. Coolest concert I ever went to was a debate between Two or Nine Inch Nails. Formerly no. Yeah, I know what NIN. The second you literally put it in, I literally want 9 Inch Nails. Yeah. I've never been to either one, and I don't know any of the guys from either band. I know my friend is a big Tool freaking head, to be honest. I never really listened to it too much of Tool. Oh, we got another ad. As I said before, this is Netflix, so yeah, there's gonna be ads. I don't pay for premium. I just play for standard Netflix because yeah, I don't really want to pay $25 a month for Netflix. I'd rather pay 10, $15. So now they're showing up the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm familiar with both bands. It's just that I listened to more of Nine Inch Nails than technically Tool back in the day. You know, the way how I actually learned about Nine Inch Nails and Tool was from Beavis and Butthead. I'm not joking about this at all. But I was a big Beavis and Butthead fan, and they would literally play like their music videos, and then technically I would find out who the bands are. Same thing with like some other bands like Gore. You know, I didn't know who Gore was until I literally seen that. So now they're doing a hype package for Daniel Bryan. I watched a little bit of Ring of Honor back in the day, before he even got into like WWE. Like he was Daniel Bryan's sin in Ring of Honor. He was a good wrestler even back then. So and I think he's still wrestling today, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure, but I think he is.
It is my job to ensure the best product. Everybody. I did what I did to ensure the future of WWE. Daniel Bryan is not the man we want. He is the man
One
we
time he
replace.
has a band. Hold on, I gotta try to read this. A lot of it's literally missing. Trent Nine Inch Nails. Only time he has a band was on tour. He is literally the vocal and every instrument on the album. Okay.
B-plus player. That's a good little spot for you,
Trent is one of my all-time
protecting Daniel Bryan.
favorite artists. Okay.
He is just not good enough to succeed.
But like I said, I learned a lot about those bands. I've never met any artist from Nine Inch Nails or Tool or anything. So before someone says, "Well, you know every freaking artist and every freaking band and everything else," no, I don't. I know a lot, but I don't know every. you know. So I'm just trying to think. Like I've been to Judas Priest. Judas Priest is my favorite band, but I don't. But their concerts were okay. I just kind of wish that technically they did more of the classics than their new stuff at the time. But I'm trying to think. What would be my all-time biggest concert? I've seen Paul McCartney, seen Black Sabbath, Motley Crue. I've seen Roger Waters with David Gilmour. Um, Trans-Siberian Orchestra I've seen. Hermits I've seen. CCR I've seen. Well, with John Fogerty, but I just say CCR. Bon Jovi, George Thorogood, Queen. Trying to think, what was the biggest one I've seen? Huh. I don't know. Strife. I really don't know. I've also seen Kiss. So their final concert here in Winnipeg. So now here comes Stephanie. There is only one other person I respect more than Trent, and that's Bob Marley. My dad was a reggae artist. Okay. I never met Bob Marley, but I have met Ziggy Marley. So Bob Marley died before I was born, Strive, so there is no way that I probably would ever meet him. So, but I have met his son, Ziggy. Very nice guy. So, and then I found out when I was a kid that Ziggy Marley actually did the theme song for Arthur, which I was a big fan of. This is a pretty cool entrance. Triple H is coming out to. Yeah, I met. This is pretty cool. He's like all like in gold armor or something like this. Even that mask, wow, they really did a good job. But it's kind of weird that they literally take almost half an hour to literally just get one match out of this show. You know, it's like holy crap. I think we're almost a half an hour in, right? Yep, we're exactly at half an hour. 30 minutes, it says. But I do like that freaking outfit that Triple H is wearing. That's pretty cool. I've seen the outfit in like WWE 2K24, but I had no idea what the reference was. So I was on my mom's shoulders at about 1 years old, but at a Bob's concert, obviously I don't remember. Uh, Obviously I don't remember it, but it was one of the concerts. So my mom says. Okay. I don't even know when my first concert would have been, to be honest. I know it would be with my dad, but I don't remember which one it would have been. Because there was a time where, yeah, he was playing with Alice Cooper, yeah, but he also played with other bands. So he didn't just play with Alice Cooper. Even though I literally hint Alice Cooper a lot because that's where he ended. He first started with Alice Cooper and he ended with Alice Cooper, his career. But in that whole entire mix, Vincent, aka Alice Cooper, and my dad did not see eye to eye. My dad was a drunk, drug addict, and everything else, and Vincent, aka Alice Cooper, wanted my dad to get clean. So they literally butted heads for a while. It is weird to see Triple H like bald now. I remember when he had the freaking like long hair and everything else like that. I have to accept that technically wrestlers are getting old, yeah, but it's just weird to literally see them bald constantly. Don't get me wrong, eventually I would want to be bald myself as well, but it's just a weird factor to look at. And here comes Daniel Bryan, and everyone's chanting yes. Okay. She said her babysitter for me didn't show up, so she brought me with her to the 1977 concert with the original Whalers. Hmm. Okay. Strive. Fun fact: this WrestleMania was on my birthday. Okay, Warfare. Nice to see you, and I hope you're doing well, man. This is my first time watching it, Warfare. I've never watched this WrestleMania before. So before anyone says, well, why? Like I literally said before, there was a time in my life where I stopped watching wrestling. From like either, like I said, either 2008 to 2016 or 2010 to 2016. I don't remember what year it was. I was 8 when this happened. 8? You're 19? I'm doing the math. You would be, what, 19? 18, 19? I was literally, what, 23, 24 when this happened? So, yeah. If Daniel Bryan loses, we riot. A lot of yes signs in the crowd, too. This feels like Attitude Era freaking a match with all the signs in the crowd and everything. Where was his Bob, Bunny, and Peter before they broke up? Okay.
It's like going from checkers to chess. Hey, did you guys forget what Daniel Bryan did to Triple H this past Monday night on Raw? He attacked him Triple H at ringside, sending Triple H scampering away. Absolutely. Triple H will be making a big mistake if he
But if anyone was to say, what's the, what would be the concert that you would want to see before I was born? Very simple. If I was alive in the 1950s and 60s, I would have loved to see Jimi Hendrix live. That would have been probably peak. Second would have been Elvis. So, but both died before I was born. But yeah, I would have loved to see Jimi Hendrix live. So, oh wow, match just started and yeah, there was a kick and a roll up there. They really didn't do anything until literally just that second, even though the match started. Now Triple H trying to punch in the corner, Daniel Bryan with his kicks in the corner. Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, and Peter Tosh. Okay. I don't know too much about Bob Marley and the Wailers, to be honest. I like a few of their songs, you know, but I don't know too much of the stuff. All I know is that a lot of these guys died before I was born. So yeah. So okay, Triple H and Daniel Bryan lock up. The referee is Lil H, Charles Robinson. I think he's still refereeing. Honestly, he should go in the Hall of Fame. If there's like, they should really do literally put referees in the Hall of Fame. I hate to say it, but it's true. Lil H deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Mikey Oda deserves it. Tim White deserves it. You know, I don't understand why referees don't get put into the WWE Hall of Fame. They're the orchestras of the freaking match. They're the ones that are supposed to literally like control everything, like the conductor. Never makes sense to me. Oh, Daniel Bryan looks injured there. Got taped ribs. I just noticed that.
Stephanie McMahon has been so active all week on Twitter talking about how ready her husband is tonight for this match. Grueling training for the past number of weeks for Triple H to get ready. One thing I worry about, I'm not sure that Triple H might not have been a full moment dominant coming this match. Great point, Sean, as Daniel Bryan again goes up over the top.
Now Daniel Bryan literally trying to literally put it Triple H in a choke there. It looks like.
Did you ever think about the fact that why this huge match is on first? You know who has the
But yeah, Warfare. I hope you're doing well.
WrestleMania and
Good to
that
see you.
he'll have plenty of time to recuperate and be ready for that big triple threat match in the main event. Yeah, again, the winner will face Batista and Orton in a triple threat match for the WWE World Title. And our main event tonight, as we mentioned before,
Now
Triple H very well
it's
behind.
literally getting closer to noon. It's 11:40 over here. Now we're getting close to 12. So hopefully this is over by 4 o'clock. I got stuff. I got stuff to do at 4. So that's why I started early, because I know it was 4 hours. But yeah.
WWE fans from all 50 states, 37 countries have made the trip to New Orleans. And look at this. This is why they call him the street assassin. He's going to figure all this out. He's going to figure out the speed of Daniel Bryan, the submissions of Daniel Bryan.
Triple H trying to pull his arm into the ring post there. Daniel Bryan with a baseball slide to Triple H. Oh, nice. Daniel Bryan with like a spring DDT there. Kind of look like. I'm gonna say spring DDT. Springboard DDT, I guess.
Quite frankly, you should be. I'm surprised too. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Well, if there's a look of surprise, that means one thing. They've underestimated Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan top rope, and he takes it. Triple H. Oh, but it hurt Daniel Bryan. Yeah, I think they both got hurt. Triple H looking to grab Daniel Bryan. He took the brunt of the fall, but then he managed to somehow use part of his momentum to throw Daniel Bryan into the barricade. Both men are down. Critical part of this match.
I'm just trying to remember what was I doing during this WrestleMania. Maybe at a concert or something? I know I went to a lot of concerts in 2014. Maybe I was at a concert. So, at this time, I don't know. And don't worry, guys, I'll cover more WrestleManias. And my dad was one of those Santa is fake, Easter Bunny is fake, you ain't getting shit. You ain't getting shit for a two, and wrestling isn't real. And that was at 7 years old. I wouldn't say wrestling's fake. It's choreographed, but it's not fake. And take it from me that actually did it. In a way. Oh, trust me, my dad was like that too, in a way. But my dad actually used to think wrestling was real for a while, and then he started literally going, "Hey, wait, what's going on?" And there is a few actual like real live wrestling matches. If you want to see the real shit, go watch the Japan stuff. Strive. I'm not joking. In Japan, like back in the early days, they literally did real wrestling. In the States, you're not really allowed to literally hurt each other, but in Japan, they don't give a flying crap. They'll hurt each other. You know. I used to watch Japan stuff. You know, like if you watch like Cactus Jack and Terry Funk in Japan, and you see like all the blood and the gore coming out. That's all real. You know, that's why I said that technically it all depends on how you look at it. If you want to watch the real stuff, hey, hats off to you. But it gets really gory and real bloody very quickly. You know. Of course, now Japan's literally has a little bit fixed rules, but like in the early days of the 80s and 90s, holy crap! And like even like Puerto Rico wrestling back in the 80s, some of it was real because yeah, if you know, you know. That's why I always say it's choreographed. WWE's choreographed. They know what moves they're doing, but it's definitely not fake. Fake actually means that you're not going out and doing anything. Like absolutely not hitting them, absolutely not touching one little part of their body. You know, like I could show you what fake wrestling looks like, and trust me, it would not entertain you at all. I've seen fake wrestling, to be honest. I went to one independent show and it literally looked like they were dancing the whole entire time, and I said, "What the hell is this?" So I'm part Mexican. I'll start with the luchadors. Hey man, I respect luchador wrestling. I have nothing but respect for luchador wrestling. You know, like Tiger Bass was Eddie Guerrero. Gory Guerrero was his dad. I freaking loved that Mr. X. You know, back in the '70s. You know, so I have nothing but respect for luchadors. A lot of my favorite wrestling was from like the cruiserweight division WCW, and they used to feature a lot of luchador wrestling. You know, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, you know, Psychosis. I'm just trying to think of who else. La Parca. So yeah, I freaking love luchador wrestling in a way. And I have watched a little bit of like Lucha Underground and all that stuff as well. So before someone says, "Well, that's not real. That's not the lucha stuff that we're talking about." Yeah, but I've also watched Lucha Underground. So oh, Triple H with a crossface on the Daniel Bryan. So it's weird that Triple H is doing a crossface in a way because we know where that move literally associates with, and yeah. You know, that's that move associates with Chris Benoit there. My point was just my dad should have been a little bit more respectful. Yeah, but you also have to understand the times in a way. Like people were stubborn back then. Strive. My dad was definitely stubborn. My dad was. I hate to say it, but my dad was probably the biggest a hole I've ever met. He is the Mexican side of my family. Okay, but yeah, my dad was probably the biggest a hole I've ever met. So I don't think anyone could disagree with me. Because honestly, there was times where you know he would do stuff that I can't even really talk about on YouTube. But yeah, all I'd say is how do I put this in a way that is YouTube friendly? In a way, he did a lot of red rum and a lot of grape stuff, but take out the G. In a way, so yeah. Mm, and he got away with it. So, so, but that's the lifestyle. that he chose. And I feel if my dad ever got caught, he would be literally looking at like 15, 20 life sentences, maybe even more. And that's what I'm talking about. Like there was two sides of my dad. There's a nice side that technically people literally see in a way, and then there's the evil side where you better not turn around or you got a knife in your back. You know, because he'll backstab you. And that was my dad, Strive. That was my dad. But yeah, in that era and time, a lot of people were stubborn. You know,